Dear students, in this video, we will discuss about impact of development on vegetation and wildlife. There are complex interaction of many factors, and change in one aspect of environment will affect the whole ecosystem and the balance of nature. In nature, there are different factors which are interconnected. For example, water cycle, food cycle and other biological cycles. And if any of these factors changes, the whole ecosystem will get affected. Vegetation and wildlife are the most important factors of the environment. Then impact of development on vegetation and wildlife can be classified into direct impact as well as indirect impact. What is direct impact? Those that destroy or adversely affect plants and animals are called direct impact. So any human activity, any human developmental activity that can directly influence on animal or plant life can be taken as direct impact. Indirect impact. Those that destroy or destruct the habitat, ecosystem and other physical and biological factors depends on a particular species of ecosystem can be taken as indirect impact. So in the case of indirect impact, we are not directly influencing the plant or animal life, but instead any of the factors associated with this species will get affected. For example, we will do changes in water cycle or food cycle. Food cycle may get affected, so that directly these species will not get affected, but any of the factors, if any factors changes, it will affect the whole system. Such kind of indirect impacts. Then the developmental activities can impact on flora and fauna in variety of ways. The biological level, the impact as well as the nature and the magnitude of impact varies with the type of development, its design and receiving environment. So the level of impact, how much it is affecting or how it is affecting, what is the level of impact. For example, whether it is affecting the ecosystem or it is affecting the population, species and genetics. The level, then the magnitude of the impact as well as the nature of impact. It varies with the type of development and the design of the development and how the receiving environment is receiving it. It depends on the sensitivity of the receiving environment as well. The development can impact the wildlife directly, as we said earlier. For example, vehicle pollution on roads. So we can take the case of hill stations where naturally wildlife is inhabiting. There are more forest area. Then if vehicle traffic is high in those areas, then there will be more air pollution. Then these wildlife may get exposed to polluted air, which is causing various respiratory issues, and that is a kind of direct impact. Then how indirectly it is affecting. There are various factors, interrelated factors, and if any of these factors are affected by any of the human activity, then that can have an indirect impact on animal as well as plant life. Then following are the impacts on vegetation and wildlife. For example, loss of natural vegetation due to various developmental works or construction activities. So when you do construction activities, you will remove the natural vegetation. So there will be a natural ecosystem associated with this vegetation or that particular field. Some insects are living there, some microorganisms are living there. So we are destroying the habitat of all these organisms. Then other activities are habitat destruction by various construction activities, then improper agricultural techniques. When you do improper agriculture, suppose we are using more fertilizers or more amount of pesticides, that will destroy the natural fertility of the soil as well as it will affect the microorganisms in the soil. So improper agricultural techniques, that is also giving an impact on animal and plant life. Then over mining. Due to over mining, the natural profile of the rock structure may get affected. Then timber harvesting. That is another major reason for deforestation. If we cut down more deep-rooted trees from the forest areas, then it will the whole water cycle may get affected, as well as we will remove the natural vegetation from there, so it is affecting the temperature of that environment. Then pollution problems. Encroachment, that is another kind of developmental activity. We are increasing our geographical extent, or we are increasing the geographical area of the urban areas or urban cities. The sprawl of human living space places pressure on wildlife habitat. So for increasing our geographical extent, we are actually converting the forest land into villages or urban areas. And it is estimated that about 2 million acres of farmland is developed every year. And farmland used for light production makes excellent wildlife habitat. Even though we are converting this forest area into farmland, we can use it for light agricultural production so that the wildlife may get benefit from it. But instead, if we are using for intensive agriculture production and we are using pesticides, fertilizers, etc., in that case, the whole ecosystem may get affected. Then another activity, that is fragmentation. Fragmentation is another major problem associated with developmental activity. When the wildlife habitats are broken into small pieces and separated from each other, it creates population problems. Then there will not be much immigration or emigration. Then reduced reproductive pool, decreased species diversity. So when fragmentation occurs, the population may get fragmented. So some group of animals may get separated from its other mates, so the reproductive pool may get affected, the population problems arises, and it also affecting the biodiversity. Then wetlands. Our construction activities affecting wetlands also. So wetlands means they are natural lands where water is clogged, or they have a water holding capacity. Then naturally it is considered as a wasteland, but it is highly fertile land and it is extremely productive wildlife habitat. Many of the wetlands are now drained and filled for developmental activities, and almost half of all wetlands have been in a lost condition. So wetlands are highly productive land. We can use it for various purposes, but nowadays it is filled with the soil and we are using it for building construction. What are the benefits from wetlands? They are actually considered as a wildlife habitat, and it is having a slow destructive power of floods and storms. So extra runoff water can be hauled in wetlands, so that there will not be much economical loss from storm water during flood situations. Then it can purify polluted water. Then it provides recreational opportunities. So instead of using wetlands for construction activity, we can use it for tourism activity, so that we will get some economical value from it. We can preserve the ecosystem, the biodiversity there, as well as we will get some economical value from there. So these are the benefits of wetlands. So various construction or developmental activities affecting wetlands also. So we have to preserve it. Thank you.